Welcoming a new baby into the world is such an exciting time, but something we don't talk enough about is just how hard giving birth can be on mums. 1 in 3 mothers experience physical and psychological birth trauma, and at a time when families are surrounded by the elation of a newborn, it can be a lot for a new mum to process. There is help though from organisations like the Gidget Foundation, and Karen Edwards joins us now. Karen, welcome. It's important that we talk about it this week because it's Birth Trauma Awareness Week. What should we look out for in terms of what is birth trauma?
Davina, birth trauma is really about encapsulating the physical and psychological effects of events that occur during the labour and birth process. And it's something that is experienced differently and uniquely by every parent. So there's no one description of what constitutes birth trauma.
If you're concerned about whether you have, let's start with the physical aspect of it, a physical injury, who should you be talking to?
Certainly in the first instance, talking to your midwife, talking to your obstetrician if you have one, talking to your GP. They're really, really well placed to help identify and manage any physical injuries. But they're also really, really well placed to help identify and refer appropriately around any psychological injuries or trauma that may have arisen as a result of your birthing experience.
Because the two go hand in hand almost, don't they?
1 in 3 mothers will experience either physical or psychological trauma. 1 in 5 will experience both, while trying to care for their newborn and trying to adjust to their parenting role.
How do you know that something has gone wrong that probably shouldn't have gone wrong, or your healing process is taking longer than expected?
It can be really tricky for a parent to work out where is that line between that journey that I might expect from an introduction to parenthood versus where might I be starting to think, this is really impacting me, it's impacting my relationship with my new baby, it's impacting my relationship with family and friends. There isn't a single sort of measure where we can say this person is traumatised and this person isn't, because something that might affect one person very deeply will not affect another person to quite the same degree.
How can we support mums then who we suspect may be suffering from birth trauma?
So I think the first thing is to encourage mums who might be experiencing any kind of birth trauma or even any kind of emotional struggle post-delivery. We really want to encourage them to be able to start talking about it, and that's talking about it with obviously with supports around you, but it's also really important that they consider getting some professional help and talking to someone who is well equipped to support them with understanding and processing their experience. So at Gidget Foundation Australia, our clinicians are experts in birth trauma support, and we would encourage them to reach out to us either face-to-face or through telehealth with a referral from your GP.
You also have lots of Gidget Angels who are sharing their personal experience, who are smashing down those barriers of discomfort that people might feel when they're talking about those stories.
Our podcast series, 1 in 5 mums, 1 in 10 dads, has been fantastic for that, because we've got our Gidget Angels who have so generously shared their stories, and that's a really, really difficult thing to do, but they've really recognised the value in providing that first-hand lived experience in helping support other parents and helping get that message across that you're not alone, there is help out there, and it does get better.
Karen, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.